Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 441.
441.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Today we're talking all about the Disney Wish, part of the Disney Wish, just a small part of our cruise, which we sailed on for a 3-night christening preview cruise. Becky from MEI Mouse Fan Travel was on the cruise also with us, and so it's great to see MEI. They're doing the research and everything. So
not only that, they'll be going on the maiden voyage in just a few days.
And we booked through them, and we highly recommend it. You know, they're doing, again, all the research, and it really helps to have them give you ideas and steer you in the right direction.
And we're going to start off by looking at some footage of the Disney Wish Christening. I actually attended this and shot it myself. I was very, very thankful and fortunate to be here and have this great view of this awesome ceremony.
And I was waiting for a bus at Coronado Springs
I had
to get there.
I had that wait for the bus too, only 2 hours before.
Yes, and so during the ceremony, I actually have not even seen the whole ceremony yet. But it looks like it was a lot of fun to be there.
It was very well done. There weren't a lot of people there, so I totally understand why they had to limit it to just one per outlet, because, I mean, it was just a very small area.
Right.
But it was an amazing presentation. Look what we have singing Wishes right now.
Anika Noni Rose, which...
Tiana.
Yes, Princess Tiana. And it, I did hear this, to hear Wishes sung by her was really incredible.
It was real. I mean, to hear it live in person, Wishes, Wishes has a big meaning. We love that show for so many years. Even in California, they had elements of that in the fireworks show there. So to see it here, and it makes perfect sense. The Disney Wish. Wishes.
Of course. And so...
and look at all the characters. All the characters come out. It was, and it just built up and got better and better. I loved it.
And so we're looking at, you've got, here comes some other characters that are represented on the Disney Wish, and that includes Pixar characters. I believe we're also going to see, Anna and Elsa, and Marvel characters, which we have not seen yet. The Disney Wish is very different than any other ship. Disney Cruise Line ship I've been on, completely different. And that includes elements featuring different characters like Anna and Elsa as part of the Frozen dining adventure.
Look at this. I just saw Spider-Man, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Black Panther in there.
And Ant-Man and the Wasp are part of the Marvel Worlds of Marvel dining. So you will see them not for too long, but in rotational dining, which just like Anna and Elsa, in Arendelle, the Frozen dining adventure.
And then you can meet Spider-Man or the Black Panther on the ship. They have meet and greets as well.
Yeah, there's and here we have the Star Wars characters. You saw Chewie.
Yeah, Chewie himself.
And we did not see Rey. But it's just an amazing amount of characters and really a range of stories that are told on the Disney Wish. Unlike any of the other Disney ships.
And we have sailed on all the other Disney ships, so this is a first for both of us. And now we're getting to the actual christening of the ship itself.
Right. So instead of having a godmother like Jennifer Hudson for the Disney Dream, they had Make-A-Wish children. So past, future, and present Make-A-Wish children are the godchildren of the Disney Wish.
Yeah, it was really an awesome moment, with all the fireworks going on, having the kids themselves, they all in unison christened the Disney Wish. It was wonderful.
And I see Bob Chapek there. He was also at Avengers Campus this past weekend. He is
getting
been
around.
Very busy, yes.
But so that was a great way to start the day. Afterwards, I took a few pictures, and we're going to take a look at the ship itself there in Port Canaveral, and that's where we boarded the Disney Wish. And we're going to talk all about that boarding process and our first impressions of walking in for the very first time. It's the inaugural sailings, in our case, the christening. And here's a great shot of you, hearkening back to many years previous.
Well, I posted on Twitter next to a photo of me from 1998. When I sailed on the Disney Magic, which was my first any cruise ever. And I loved it. The Disney Magic back then seemed huge. And now it seems like a little baby ship,
Right.
And so now we're walking to the Grand Hall. This is the atrium, which is, again, completely different. I recommend a 4-day cruise because you really need time to acclimate to a completely different ship.
I 100% agree, and I would go as far to say as even back to back. I know a lot of people, I'm in a Facebook group of the Disney Wish. I've been hearing what other people are doing. A lot of people are doing back to back, so they get the full 7 days.
I wish, there was a 7-day. We're doing a 4, and I'm glad we are. When we were on for 3 days, we were able to see different areas of the ship that we normally couldn't. There's we did not see characters up here after
not very
the
often.
first
I think
day.
I saw Cinderella up there one time when I was walking by, but I think it was for a media thing.
Right. And so anyway, and here's Cinderella, and you look who's behind her. You've got Lucifer behind her, which is I was not expecting that. I must have seen. I don't know if I saw concept art of that ahead of time, but I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting.
No, it's great. I love it. I love it. It's very different, and I love it's a nice welcome to the ship.
So anyway, it would be nice to have the 7-day on
And you see
board.
the concept art with Lucifer. I'm sure we had both seen it, but we probably
you
forgot.
would think, and I did not remember that. We're outside of I keep wanting to call it Waltz. It's 1923, but it's it reminds me of Brown Derby, but in a Walt Disney sort of way.
And they have a lot of displays all around the ship, especially in this lobby area. And you really appreciate this more after you've been on the ship longer. I mean, when we just walked in, all of this didn't make sense, but now we can see the style of stateroom we had and all the different carpet samples and the color scheme. So once you've actually cruised, that makes more sense.
And we were doing this while we were waiting for an interview with Denise Case, who is an entertainment creative, about what to expect in the Grand Hall. And right now, we're right in that Grand Hall area. There's what he's not showing you is the restaurant, which has a Walt Disney and then the Roy Disney, like 2 different sides.
Well, we'll do a full tour of that 1923
of
restaurant.
Roy Disney.
Of the Roy Disney side.
Because
we never did walk
we
into the
never
Walt
did.
side. But anyway, as you mentioned, we're going to talk to Denise Case, and she'll tell all about the entertainment in the atrium. So here she is now.
Hi everybody, my name is Denise Case and I'm the Director of Entertainment Creative for Disney Cruise Line. Welcome to the beautiful Grand Hall. Isn't she wonderful? Oh my gosh, she's our castle on the seas and she just is the best place, the most beautiful, perfect place for our princesses to visit. So many of our favorite friends are here. When you first embark the ship, you'll see some of your favorite royals up in the balcony welcome you to this amazing space. We also have our fairy tale players, Lady Lily and Lord Leopold, or Lord Leo for short, and they live in this space and they are the keepers of Once Upon a Time. They will tell you fairy tales. They're so fun. Don't be surprised if you hear a little song or two. Oh, we have so much going on in this Grand Hall every day. We like to refer to it as an environmental theater space, meaning that we use the entire space as our stage. And speaking of stages, we actually have a real stage right here. It's beautiful. You never know who's behind the curtain. There's all kinds of wishes, like first wish and wishing ever after, your final night experience. There's always fun around every corner, stories around every corner, some of your favorite friends around every corner. So come on board and join us here in the Grand Hall on the beautiful Disney Wish. Wishes do come true.
So after all those wishes, we finally made our way into our stateroom here.
And so I'm looking for our number. Is it 7068 to the right?
No,
it's
we
seven.
could never remember it even when we were on the ship.
7072.
That is correct.
Honestly, I forgot it so often. And even the last day I'm thinking, how do I, and I usually can remember numbers pretty well. And for some reason, it just, I don't know if it's just
It's a mental block.
Actually, I should have thought of it as 7072. 7072. And now I know, but now it's not our stateroom anymore.
Now, speaking of staterooms, this was probably the biggest cruise stateroom I have ever sailed in.
I believe it is as well for myself. It's a Deluxe Family Oceanview Stateroom with Verandah, and it is Frozen themed, so you can see some Frozen artwork and such throughout the stateroom. So it's about 284 square feet, and it includes a queen size bed, single convertible sofa, a wall pull down and such, and it sleeps 4 to 5, and it's about 40 square feet more than a standard deluxe ocean view stateroom with a veranda. So it was nice. We usually stay. I've always had a veranda. I've never not had a veranda before. But this was a little bigger. It was nice to have, that little bit of extra room.
And the veranda, because we were sort of where the ship kind of goes out a little bit, it was a bit longer than the usual veranda, so you had a little bit more room in there.
But I probably spent 15 to 20 minutes total. Usually I spend a lot of time on the
and
veranda.
we will.
No,
in the
we
next
will.
one.
Of course, they kept us very busy. So now we're looking at the rest of the stateroom. It says, Wish on I'm trying to think of what
The
that's
bed
called.
runner?
Yeah, the bed runner.
More importantly, let's take a look in the little
champagne.
refrigerator, and we are welcomed with some. And both of those champagnes are now empty, of course.
And it reminds me of being in France, actually, as far as a champagne. So there's a decent amount of storage, and again, you've got the frozen motif here. Very comfortable. It's a very comfortable room.
And lots of plugs, the plugs for your phone, and right by bedside there, the USB plugs, plenty everywhere. So you didn't even have to worry about adapters. At least I didn't in this room.
And a nice sized television. So, of course, the Disney Cruise Line, a lot of these staterooms have the split bathrooms, which is such a big deal for families. You have one that has the toilet, and then you have one that has the shower tub.
Well, for me, it was great. After my shower, I would go and shave and do the other stuff in the other bathroom, and then you can get right in the shower, and we can get going much faster. It cuts everything in half, really.
Right, and I don't know if the Disney Cruise Line actually started that at sea, but they might have. And they've had it forever, since 1998. And then, of course, you have the H2O products in the bathroom, which is...
We have that right here in the house. I will be using that soon.
Yes, we purchased it off of Shop Disney because you love the Sea Marine. So anyway, I love the split bathroom. It's, again, such a big help.
So after getting settled, it was time to have some lunch.
And we went to the wrong place for lunch.
We should have gone directly to the Marceline Market.
Go to Marceline Market. This is like the buffet. It's a food hall, but it's like, it's essentially what you would think of as topsiders or cabanas. Is that how it...
Mm-hmm. Those are the
I want to
correct
say,
name.
yes. So anyway, it's, again, sort of like the buffet, although they serve you. And we ended up finding... This was our first time, obviously, on board, and we ate outside thinking that was the Marceline Market area, but the Marceline Market's actually indoors, and they had a really nice setup of food in here, and we had already eaten tacos. So,
yeah.
And they had shrimp and, different seafood.
Really an amazing amount of really good food in here. So even though we already ate a little bit, I
had a little
had
something.
a little taste of some of these items, especially the seafood items.
I mean, I took this video afterwards, and it's like, I'm not even hungry. I'm walking, seeing this amazing food, and I wasn't even hungry. So anyway, you can kind of see I think it's like 10 food stalls. And they're supposed to be themed to different characters and stories, but I didn't really notice anything like that. So...
Well, there was the Ratatouille display in one of the windows.
Right. I did see, they do have characters,
Yeah.
in this area, you can see Ratatouille, and maybe that's what they mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was always kind of running, so I didn't sometimes you just don't sit there and take too many photos of any one thing. But anyway, they had really nice bread and, really everything. It felt like they had everything in here.
Yeah, I would highly recommend this as soon as you get on the ship. Oh, and you brought this over
That
to
I did
me,
get for you.
And there is a picture of it. It was very, very good. And
Look
it
how
wasn't too
lovely-
much. I was able to try little bits of it,
Look how really nicely plated that is.
And look at this. You have the shrimp, you have the crab, all sorts of mussels there. Wonderful. So nice.
And as I was you had not seen this yet, and I was like, uh-oh, you've already eaten. Because you will love that.
It doesn't compare. It does not compare to the tacos. Not bad, actually.
No, they were fine. They were good. But on this day...
Had I known there was this wonderful Marceline area, I didn't have a show to watch.
Yes, and look at the carrots, look so good. But breakfast there was really good too. I went up there for breakfast one day.
So after lunch, we decided to go see the set sail on a Wish. Although you did a ship tour, I was up here waiting. You could see me right there on the screen in the front recording this. This was a great show.
Yeah, I actually did come over and I did see most of it. We were on a ship tour, but the tour ended outside, and then a bunch of us, then I think we all came down here, and I got a pretty good view as well. And we saw you and Jeremiah waiting in the front.
I love the music too. It's very infectious. The Let's Set Sail song. I love it.
I really enjoy, the deck parties, and they did I think this is the first time they had ever done it. I think pretty much everything was the first time they had done it for guests. Anything we saw.
I was talking to one of the performers, and they said this was the first time ever performed with guests that weren't employees.
And cast members.
Cast members.
I
do know that.
And you would never really have thought it because everybody was fantastic. And that includes also when we saw previews of the shows, right? I mean, the shows in the theater.
Yeah. And I guess the actual show finally debuted today.
The full one.
The full ones, yeah.
I can't wait to see it in August, next month.
And this is nice because you even have some of the royal couples out there. You have Moana out there. These are not characters you usually would see at a set sail type of show.
Well, we haven't, and I don't know if
certainly haven't.
Right, I don't know if that's changed, and we haven't sailed in maybe like 4 or 5 years, which is I've only sailed.
The Star Wars Day at Sea cruise was the last time we sailed.
Right.
The debut one, so it may have been 5 years ago.
Yeah, probably 5 years or so. So, I mean, I've been on. I think this was around the 9th time I've sailed on the Disney Cruise Line through the year since 1998.
I enjoyed this, though, so much that even though I've seen it, I would do this. I would absolutely do it again. I would get there early and just enjoy it from the front and see it one more time for the next cruise. But now it's time to talk about Enchanté, a surprise meal that we ended up having.
Right. We weren't expecting this. So it was really, Disney invited us to dine here at Enchanté. And you can see Lumiere here on the...
So beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And this is supposed to represent Versailles.
I forgot about that. And
that's
I believe
supposed to represent champagne
bubbles. And this is
what a welcome.
A beautiful chandelier. Now we're seated, and this could change. This is the lounge, and then I guess it's like a progressive meal, but you only then move once. But it could change. We were told it could change. And the first thing we were brought out champagnes. I mean, really lovely champagne. I was calling it Taittinger because some people call it that, but Taittinger, I believe is how you say it.
Taittinger.
Taittinger. Well, it's something like that. Is what I ordered. The rosé.
It was very good, by the way.
I like a little sweetness with a rosé, but I also kind of like a brut. So kind of a brut with a little rosé.
What a way, though. What a great way to start off this experience. I mean,
that was amazing.
Nice champagne.
It was beautiful.
The ship is just pulling out of the port. It's beautiful. It was just spectacular. And here we are by the chandelier here because they wanted to take the picture. We were the first guest. And there's the chef himself.
Chef Arnaud Lallemand, who designed the menus also for both Remy restaurants, the Disney Fantasy and the Disney Dream. And he came out, he's like, selfie. And so we said, okay. And he was... Oh, we should have had him autograph something.
Oh, we should have.
Darn it.
And he was only on the ship for like 5 days. So
I didn't
he's
even
already
think of that.
gone.
But we have photos.
You're looking at the menu. There's the collection menu, and that's what I went for. And then there's the passion menu, and then a la carte.
Jeff went with the most expensive. I only went with like 2 courses.
Yeah, you had the tomato and the grilled beef. But how many times do you get to have a 3-star Michelin chef himself serving you, and he's happy, to test out all his items?
And we received an amuse-bouche here. We really liked the falafel with lemon, and then there was also an herb tartlet and also a cheese of some sort.
And it's sort of just like a little appetizer that's, it's a bonus. It's not really even included on the menu. So we had this, and then we had another amuse-bouche little bonus before my 9-course meal. So it made it a 10-course meal. What a extravaganza.
It was really. And but to have the chef keep coming out was really nice. And sometimes he was like pouring items for you and everything. And
it really is a beautiful, beautiful area in here.
It's very classy, and I always prefer to dine at a place like here or Palo at around sunset, unless doing like a champagne brunch or something.
Right,
But
you get
for
to see,
dinner,
you get to actually
yes.
see outside, see the sunset, rather than if you had a late dinner, it's just dark.
Right, and some guests will prefer that, but this is what I prefer.
And here is a second amuse-bouche here, and this was very nice. It was a little flaky on top.
Did that have like cauliflower
Yeah,
in it? Okay, and so this is the Krug Grand Cuvée, and this is the wines and champagnes ranged from very high end to moderate.
Oh, I forgot to mention we got the wine package.
Yes, Jeff
along with the.
Jeff ordered one wine package.
And we split it.
Yes, and so we split the wines.
Oh, this was the tomato extravaganza.
The
here.
soil-grown tomato experience. There's a 12-hour confit and then tomato water as well.
Basically, they cook that for 12 hours in butter. Tomato cooked in butter for 12 hours. Very decadent.
It was
It's
delicious.
a big extravaganza. You're supposed to finish it with the tomato water, which we did. You have to like tomatoes.
I did not drink the tomato water
Caviar,
as much.
by the way, number 2. That was also very tasty.
With smoked haddock. I was going to say the tomato water I'm not so sure on. And then we have Chateau Aquaria, and I'm not sure how to say Tavel. I tried to look up everything in case I didn't know what it was.
This was the most unique item I've ever had.
Longustines. And it has like a gelatin on top.
It was very unique. It was tasty, but it was just, I've never had anything like that.
And then Baron d'El, that is a white wine.
Now we're talking here. We have the Maine lobster.
lobster.
This was one of my favorites, if not my favorite of all the items. Absolutely delicious. Perfect.
And didn't he come out and pour that
Oh, yeah.
for you?
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did.
I thought that was very
He
nice.
did quite a bit of pouring out. You'll never get that. I was so happy. But, I mean, and he's given me a little... this, by the way, this was another...
The wild
halibut.
With the onion confit and vermouth.
Phenomenal. I mean, right up there with the Maine lobster. It was just so many flavors. So good.
And I am a very picky eater. Jeff will pretty much eat anything that you put in front of him, which is great. And I think you've...
Look at this. I've never
really
had anything.
learned.
I've never had anything. I mean, this was the most mind-blowing meal I've ever had.
We've never been to Victoria and Albert's,
No.
although we've been to Palo and some, and other restaurants. And here I am with my our wine glass, because we were splitting it, and that Chateau Talbot.
The red was actually very nice.
It was nice. It was really a nice mix of different items. There's my notebook on the table.
And you could see the sunset is happening, and here is the beef.
Right, the grilled beef Wagyu from Australia. And I thought that's what I personally ordered. You ordered it rare, the way they...
I always take it the way they recommend, but in this case, I did try a bite of your medium,
Right,
and
I
I
ordered
did
medium.
prefer that. I'm just not used to having the beef be almost what's the
Too
word?
rare.
Yeah, almost too rare. Yeah, but it was still good. But I preferred for me the medium worked better.
And there's like salt on it, and it really added to the flavor.
Oh, it did.
And
Absolutely.
I never add salt to beef, but I thought it really, really added to it.
We had some brisket underneath this healthy-looking salad. And again, another great course.
It was, this was an amazing meal for you, because Jeff raved about the meal throughout. And
I'm still referencing it.
Yes. I don't. And so there's another one that I think we had this at
the Eiffel Tower.
Yes, at the Eiffel Tower.
Up at the very top, you finally went to the very tip of the tower, so that was kind of nice. Our last
This
drink,
year.
and it's time for desserts, fruit roll-ups of all things.
It's just I was actually very full, even though I only ordered 2 courses, so I couldn't eat too much dessert. But
Those chocolate domes there.
there was a coffee
really
tart.
good.
Yes.
Coffee tarts up above.
There was a chocolate bar, chocolate mousse wafer layers with ganache.
No. That's coming up. That's the coffee tart there. I did my traditional Mickey. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Yes, I'm reading from my script here.
Now, this is another one of those special pours. This was the
Chocolate Valrhona with praline.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Everything was delicious, but we couldn't finish it all.
This reminded me of
that.
the Seinfeld episode where he eats the chocolate bar with a knife and fork.
That's the one with the chocolate mousse wafer layers with ganache, which
So
was
good.
good. I think we ate all of that.
There was nothing.
Yes.
Nothing left.
Yes, there was the little desserts that they brought like extra.
Oh,
the
yeah,
little
yeah,
desserts.
yeah.
We
Those
could
little
not
bonuses.
finish that.
Right.
They were There was a lot, you
and
know.
even the settings, I don't know if anyone notices, but like the plates, everything was absolutely beautiful. Oh, and our friend Ashley Eckstein and her husband were one seat over, and we ended up chatting with them the whole time. It was so nice. So that was a little bonus.
It was really a lovely evening, you know, and I think especially with the pandemic, we've learned to really appreciate good food and good beverages, you know, champagnes, and we learned so much about champagne and wine over the last couple of years.
That's right. Our good friend Cindy, last time we were in France, took us to a champagne house.
Right, the Mum Champagne House in Rons, which is close to where Chef Lallemande would be.
Well, hopefully we'll get a chance to go visit the chef again.
I think we should at some point.
Now, I do have to mention, it's not an inexpensive experience. Our total bill, including gratuity, was $533 and change.
And Disney did cover that. And also, you can go, of course, less expensive, or you could go more expensive. You know, there is a range there. And also, book early. There's not only the dinner, but I believe a champagne brunch and a dessert experience that you can book. But you really, as soon as you get your final payment in, I would recommend booking the reservation. And the next morning, early the next morning, we had an interview with cruise director Ashley Long about the AquaMouse.
I'm Ashley, cruise director on board.
And we are on the Disney Wish. We're on the christening cruise of the Disney Wish. We're still getting the lay of the land. Can you talk about, we haven't done the AquaMouse yet, can you talk about, it's the first attraction at sea for the Disney Cruise Line?
It is. We are so excited about the AquaMouse, and you better ride the AquaMouse when you get on board as well, too. This is our first attraction at sea, and Mickey and Minnie have actually started their own seaside excursion company on this. And well, I'm just going to say, things don't go exactly as planned, but it's about a 2-minute ride. I know our guests are going to truly enjoy it. It's really fabulous.
And you've ridden it.
This one, you know what? I've actually not gotten a chance to ride it, so you all get to actually experience some things first with me as well, too. But I've got my slot booked.
So I took Ashley's advice and made sure I did everything I could to ride this thing, and it was not easy, but I was able to ride it. A number of times, actually. They had a ride cam. That what I mean is that, you know, they had big lines of other people doing the ride cams and things like that.
Well, it kept going. There was something about the sensors, so it
right, there was technical issues as well.
Right, especially with the ride cams and stuff. So it took you a lot of time, but
I finally managed to get it
more than once.
And yes, indeed. So here we are. I'm sitting here about to go into the tunnel. And I was so excited to finally ride this thing. I actually really love these type of rides on the ships, you know, like the Aquaduck and Aquadunk, you know, so this was fun. It kind of the storyline kind of reminds me of something you would see out of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, you know, that same kind of the new Mickey and Minnie. And there's 2 different versions of it. Maybe you can remind me what they were.
Well, there'd be a Swiss Meltdown, which was what this looks like, and then Scuba Scramble.
Now, because we are doing ride cams and things, they had the squirting element turned off. Now, normally when you ride in here, you have all kinds of water squirting, and of course that would get on the cameras, and you had multiple cameras recording us and you know, the ability to record the ride. But I think that would add a fun element to it. Not for you, though.
No, not for me.
You would prefer this. I should have gotten you on this because you're not getting the squirt as you're going, you know, getting the story part of the ride in.
Honestly, because I wasn't sure I'd actually get on, I decided definitely not to. I'm not really a slide person. I'm not a water slide person. But
it's as you can see, it's a slow conveyor belt. You're just kind of going up, and you're getting the story. You know, you're maybe getting some squirting on you if it was turned on, but and that's what's happening right now. Right
now, yes. But then you're going through a tube.
Well, speaking of going through a tube, we're just about to the top of the conveyor, and you're about to have a small little drop here, and here is the tube that you are talking about. And it's a little dark at first, but then you have all these lights, kind of fun lighting effects. And my favorite part of the whole experience is coming up now. It's kind of like where the water is going to push you up. You're going to be going up 2 little hills. So see, here we go, up the hill, and then up a second hill, and you can see the beautiful views when you're actually in this tube. And we're actually at sea, so look at this. You're above the ocean because it kind of goes out. And here is the ride cam. You have not seen this footage yet. Very interesting. Not the most flattering footage, of course, but we'll see it in small bits. And there is a great shot you did. It took you like 20 minutes to get that little clip
Well,
there.
I was
So you were-
waiting with the camera for like 20 minutes, and I think I had a sweater on. It was really hot because I didn't expect to
Unnecessary.
be outside.
Now this is fun. You can see Mickey and Minnie up there, and this is something that you got, the Chip and Dale, you went and got a picture of, and I'm very thankful because you could see a little blob of water there. So there's your pictures that you took at like 5 in the morning on our last day. Really nice. I really like the look of Chip and Dale. Castaway Key or Bust.
And we did make it this time. When we did the Disney Cruise Line the last 2 times, we did not make
Rough
it to Castaway.
seas.
Yes. And so we saw Castaway Key,
I
but
was
never
so
made
happy
out.
to be on this tram.
It was nice
finally
to-
be on Castaway Key after 2 previous attempts.
And we were out here for, 2 to 3 hours. We got some lunch, and we had time to walk around a bit. And it was really relaxing to even just to be able to walk around.
It was. And I wanted to show how beautiful, look at that beautiful Disney Wish from the outside, the exterior.
I hope we dock.
I
When
hope we
go.
dock too. I hope we
And then we'll go to
dock.
the adult beach.
We will make the most of it this next
Yes.
time. We'll get off first thing in the morning and fully enjoy Castaway Key.
And it was nice. We grabbed the tram, and I took the tram back. I walked a little farther, and then I took the farther.
Look at that
tram
empty
stop.
beach. I have never seen so few people ever on that beach. It's usually packed.
Everybody was doing interviews and stuff.
That's true. That's a true story.
So I remember, you know what we were talking about? There used to be a post office, and it's still here. But I actually would go there and get stamps.
I have some in the other room in plastic.
And I would actually mail postcards out from here. And I wish it was still open.
It's not open anymore?
It says it's closed, and I have a feeling it probably isn't open anymore.
So here is lunch. I quite enjoyed my lunch here at Cookies.
I know. There's cookies and
barbecue.
cookies too.
That's the adult beach. Cookies too.
And I enjoyed it, but in some ways, I told you that it's like, well, maybe next time.
Yeah, you could have had 1923
Right.
instead of the burger there. But
Well,
it
the burger
nice.
was fine, but it's like I could go back on the ship and have 1923 for lunch, which that was one of my favorite meals. That was probably my favorite meal of the whole time, except for Enchanté.
But look at this. I mean,
I
look
know,
at this
the view is
it's
incredible.
gorgeous, and we had a nice little drink. So nice. We had some Mai Tais, I believe,
Yes,
at
we
this
did.
point. So, and I ran off to the far corner of the island to get a nice clip of our ship.
And I was talking to somebody at the time, and then I did the same, and I think you ended up back on the ship earlier than me.
Because I was trying to chase down the elusive AquaMouse at the time.
Oh, that's right.
But anyway, that is the end of part 1. That is another show. We want to thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Thanks to MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Check them out, especially like if you're thinking about a Disney cruise. Becky was just on the cruise with us. She's going to be on the cruise again. And, they really know their stuff, and they're cruise specialists, and not just the Disney Cruise Line, but other cruises as well. And they can really assist you once you book with them. And we really recommend them.
And we have so much more to talk about. This was just the beginning. We still have both of the big main meals.
But should we do that in like 2 weeks, because Food and Wine Festival is this week?
I don't know what we're gonna do.
We're gonna
We'll
have
see.
to talk about it.
When it'll be coming. It'll be coming at some point. We also have the Marvel's
Avengers Campus just opened,
too,
but
Paris.
we don't have time to talk
And
about
the Villain's
everything.
Lair.
Yeah, it's
We have an abundance of content, so we'll try to get a couple shows in as soon as we can. But we really do need to continue the Disney Wish.
Yes, maybe in a couple weeks. So I think we'll talk about Food and Wine Festival and maybe Villain's Lair and Avengers Campus in the next show, but we don't know.
I feel so sorry for our listeners having to listen to us brainstorm for lack of it to what we're going to do. But no matter what, we'll be back next week. Thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.